Everyone, I'm here in the Bane Canyon area of Chino Hills State Park here in the Southern California, Los Angeles area. And I'm going to show you a really beautiful loop hike you can do. It's around 7 or 8 miles, and it gets you a little bit away from the crowds that you usually find here. And in the spring, or when it's in bloom, it's very, very colorful, as you can see. Now, if you come here in the winter, it's kind of brown and definitely not as nice. So timing is everything for this one. So try to get here when everything's in bloom. It'll be much nicer. Now, if you do want to come here, I have a full guide on HikingGuy.com. There's a link to that under the YouTube video. I'll talk about parking, logistics, and the not so fun stuff. But otherwise, in this video, I'll show you the turn-by-turn directions to do this hike and to know what to expect. And if you're watching it and you like it, if you could do me a big favor, if you could click the little thumbs up button on YouTube, that will help me out tremendously. It also helps other people find the video, know what to expect, and hopefully do the hike safely. Anyway, let me show you how to do this cool hike. Let's go. So the hike starts just outside of the park. Now, you can drive into the park, you can drive down the road down Bane Canyon, but we're going to just park outside, which is free, and walk into the park up this paved road. Now, the paved road is steep. It's not super long, maybe a half mile or so. Gives you a little bit of a workout, but we're just going to go up this. We're going to watch out for cars. And when we get to the top, you're going to see a trail on the right, which is where we're going to come back, and a trail on the left, which is where we're going to go. We're going to go up the east fence line trail all the way to the end of the loop. And right from the beginning, we're going to start climbing. It's kind of a rolling trail. There's some ups and downs, probably more ups, but you're going to get really nice views down into Bane Canyon as you go up here. And here up at the top, more nice views. And you can see all of the mustard plants are in bloom. It's really yellow. It's really beautiful. There were a ton of people here on this day taking pictures because it is so yellow. When you get to this point straight ahead, you'll see Angeles National Forest, and then Anderson Peak and the San Bernardino's over there. And you can really see when the flowers are in bloom, when it's green, it's really, really colorful. It's a really beautiful experience. Now, at this point, you're going to make the hard right onto the east fence line trail. And you'll probably start leaving people behind at this point. Not a lot of people do the ridge up here. They kind of congregate in the valley. So hopefully it'll be a little mellow for you. And technically, this is the beginning of the east fence line there. You can go back around that way on east fence line. But this is probably my favorite section of the hike as it kind of winds up along the ridge here. As we go down there, you can see it's winding around. It really feels remote compared to the rest of the park. Get some nice views of Baldy and Angeles National Forest as you go down here. But really, really beautiful. And as you come up, there's one little turn off here, just 2 seconds, where you're going to get these nice sweeping views down into the valley. And on a day like this, I mentioned before, there's a ton of people, and a lot of people are driving in there. There's a lot of parking areas where they, pull over and check things out, but they're not going to get a view like this, obviously. So soak it all in, enjoy it, and then keep on going down along the ridge. And as you go, you'll be able to see the trail. There it is, going up there as we kind of wind around. And on video here, it looks a little narrow, it looks a little sketch, but it's not quite as bad as it looks here. And if you're watching on a regular HD video, I have a 360 version of this as well. You can scan around and look down here, but it's not too bad. But it is beautiful. And we're going to continue to go up over this ridge, and eventually we're going to come down to the wider road, and we're going to make the left-hand turn here. And we're going to be on this for a little while as we go down. And again, look at the views. Beautiful, beautiful views from this ridge up here. There's Angeles National Forest. More of those great views down into this canyon. We're kind of left Bane Canyon behind at this point. We're kind of going to the other side of the ridge, and the crowds will be left behind as well. We're going to keep going straight, and eventually this will descend and wind down, and then we're going to get back onto the east fence line trail here. There it is. We're going to cut back onto this. And this part of the park and part of the trail is really remote. I mean, I do this and I don't see anyone. You can see it's a little bit overgrown, but not too bad. You might want to just wear some insect repellent as you're going through here. but it's not, as long as you don't mind brushing up against plants, it's not really a big deal. There's not poison oak or anything. As you go along here, you're going to pass some sections where you can see fire damage from the past. It's hard to explain, but basically all of this green turns into straw, really flammable straw in the late summer, and it's really flammable. So if you come back here then, it'll look quite different, and it'll be a little bit more of a fire risk. But here you can see we're going down along the fence line. Here's a lizard. That was kind of cool. Big guy. I wish I knew those better, but I don't know what that is. If you do know what kind of lizard that is, just leave me a note. Here we're going to pass over, I think it's a slaughter trail over there. Keep going straight through on the east fence line. You can get an idea here of how overgrown it is. It's not too bad. You can definitely see the trail as you go. And eventually, as you get towards the end of the loop, there's this really nice section here where it goes along the ridge. Beautiful, beautiful landscape here. It's just a lot of eye candy as I was hiking. Here you can see some of the flowers in bloom here. Try to come in the spring like this time. It's a beautiful, beautiful hike. Now we're going to come down to this wider road here. We're going to go on this for we're going to make the left here. Go, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes tops, probably 5. Then you're going to look for this trail, the Corral Trail, off to the right. At this point, we're kind of at the end or the far end of the loop, and we're going to start winding back down to civilization and the way back. And you're going to have a nice long descent here. Again, beautiful, beautiful views as we go down. And eventually, you're going to come down to a wider trail. You'll see people who have parked in the parking lot up there and are taking pictures. We're just going to walk up here, make the right till we get to the road. Parking lot, interpretive display. Now you can go straight through. There's like a little equestrian cutoff trail over there. Sometimes it's open, sometimes it's closed, but otherwise just go up the road here, and at the top there's another little parking area with an interpretive display and tourists, and then right past the parking area you're going to make the right into the horse staging area. Now this is Bane Ridge Trail, or it'll be the beginning of Bane Ridge Trail, and this is a much more popular trail. You might not have seen anyone on that first stretch out, but in this part you're almost guaranteed to see people, including mountain bikers, so just be careful. You're going to go through the horse area here, and at the end there's a bathroom where you can take care of business if you need to. And essentially we're going straight here until we come back to the paved section. You can see there's a trail sign. This part can be a little bit confusing. We're just going to go straight here. We're going to avoid that trail off to the right and go straight. And this is sort of more of the same. You're going to get more flowers. You're going to get views down into the canyon on the right. And off to the left, you're going to get some views into the other canyons. Again, really beautiful, especially if the flowers are blooming, as you can see. They are here. Now, there's nothing really going on here. There's going to be a little rolling action as you go down here until you get to the power lines. And there's this big junction up front. We're going to go straight up that hill and then straight over it. We're going to avoid the side trails here at the power lines. Once you get over that hill, you're going to see the trail wind down in front of you. Again, beautiful, beautiful views as we go here. And before we get to the end, we're going to have 2 or 3 little leg burner climbs. You can see it's sort of steep there. Not long, but a little bit steep as you go up. At the top of the climb, there's a side trail off to the left that leads you down to a decent viewpoint. But at this point, you've probably got a ton of views, and we're just going to keep going straight. And eventually, the trail is going to come back down to where we left the paved road earlier on the other side. Watch out for cars. Make the left and then just head on downhill down the paved section until you get back to the parking area. So that's it. Really nice hike, but again, timing is everything. Do it when it looks like this, and it is a feast for the eyes. Now, if you stick around for a second, I'll show you what this hike looks like on a 3D map so you can kind of get a lay of the land. But otherwise, I will see you guys out on the trails. Bye. All right, so I mentioned there's some street parking here. You can also drive into the park and kind of get to the trailhead if you'd like to, but otherwise just do what most people do. walk up until you get to this intersection. Then we're going to make this turn right here and head up towards the east fence line. You can see there's a little bit of an uphill, but it's not too bad. It's kind of a rolling hike as we come up here. This is that turn we made onto the fence line trail up here along the ridge. Beautiful ridge. This was that overlook. You can see when these satellite photos were taken, it's a little bit more brown, but you can see down here into Bane Canyon. That's that overlook I had mentioned before. And then as we go along over here, let me just move this. There we go. Go here. This is where we join that main road or that bigger road. Come around the ridge, and then down here, we hop back off onto the east fence line. We kind of wind through. This is the part where we went along the fence line over here, and you can see the trail is straight in those areas, all the way back down until we get towards the end of the loop over here. Here we joined that bigger trail, and then here we went off onto the Corral Trail, and then down Corral, back down to the road. Here's that equestrian cutoff. If it's open, you can take that and avoid the road. Otherwise, come around the road through the equestrian area here. And again, there's bathrooms there. If you need to take care of that, you can. And then we're just following Bane Ridge Trail all the way up. And you can see it's kind of rolling, not too bad as we go here. This is where the power lines are. If you needed to bail out, you could. And we go down there. Here's that steep hill that we go up. A couple other little hills as we go over here. And then we curve back around and we're back down to the paved climb that we came in. And that's it. That's all she wrote.